So for this session I'm going to show you how to do some oil pastel, which is just such a brilliant material. They're so bright, colourful. You'll find as you go along they get a bit dirty, so you can just give them a little wipe and a bit of tissue. I'm going to do some flowers, so I'm just going to start off with a little bit of yellow in the middle here. I'm just kind of scribbling it on, and you'll find when you first start with oil pastels, they've got this quite textural quality. They're quite like crayons almost. And you might like to keep them like that, but I quite like to use a blending method where I blend things together. And to do that, I use different colours and I sort of work them over the top of each other. So I sort of blend them on top. So I've got this lovely kind of puff of colour. And the more I kind of go over the top of the other colour, the more they start to mix and blend, which is where they get really nice and really interesting. I'm going to use a little bit of brown as well here. Just working around the edge. And a bit of orange as well. So just using some other colours on top. You start to get this nice blend of colour. And then I'm going to use some purpley colours just to start to create the petals around the outside. And the petals that are on the edge are small because they're sort of foreshortened, so you can't see them all, even though you know they're there. And the ones towards the front are longer because you can see more of those. Okay, as they get further away you can't see them so much. So just sort of sketching out the shape and then just adding in some more colours as we go along. And you'll see as I start to blend over the top with my colours, they become a lot more blended together. So you get this lovely mixture of colour. Creates this really nice creation, and that's actually really lovely on its own. You can build it up more, so I might just do a bit more here, just into the gaps a little bit, around the middle of the flower where it's a little bit more shadowy. So I'm just building up there, maybe a bit of pink as well. And a bit purple. And I quite like the way that the petals are quite sort of left quite rough in the edges. So it's one of the beautiful things of using these pastels. They kind of create really nice textures, and you can sort of almost feel like you could see through them because they're very thin in some places. So really lovely. So there we go, there's my little flower, and I'm going to just put a little bit more depth into it I'm going to use a little bit of just a tiny touch of black, just to kind of create a bit more of a fluffy texture to the flower itself. Just a few little doubles of black on there, and then a bit round here, a bit more around this edge. A little bit more in this shadowy area, so I'm just creating it slightly darker. And again, going over things makes them blend in more. It keeps the colour, but it just blends them slightly in so that you've got, a little bit more detail. So really simple, but really nice little technique, this one, for creating a flower. And you can obviously do this in any colour you want, so just have a play around with it. So let me know how you get on. Pop your photos in the Create Art School Club on Facebook, and it would be lovely to see how you've interpreted it and if you've used any other colours or textures or flowers.